Hey, good morning, Trig class. It's Unit 2, our first objectives. Yeah, I'm in the office. You can see my bikes. They're inside because one got stolen out of my garage a few years ago, so they stay inside. So here is our new unit. And by the way, on all these videos, remember, you can always press pause or make them go slow so I sound funny. So if I go too fast, just do one of those things. So radians are another way of talking about angle measure. When you think about it, we all know there's 360 degrees in a circle. You know, a snowboarder goes around once, they did a 360. They go around twice, they did a 720. And radians came, they seem to make more sense. Look on top. The circumference of a circle is 2 times pi times r. And if the radius is 1, that means 1 time around would be 2 pi. So whereas the old way that we're all used to, the 360 degrees, that's exactly the same as 2 pi. I don't know where 360 degrees came from. One theory I heard was that we go around the sun in 360 days, and apparently they couldn't count back then as well. I don't know. So we use things that are equal to 1. Well, 2 pi over 360, those are both 1 time around the circle, so this is the exact same value on top of the exact same value. So that equals 1. You're multiplying by 1. You're not changing anything. But wait, don't use the 1 on top. Use this one. So I divided both top and bottom by 2. That's just easier numbers. So pi radians over 180 degrees is the same as 1. All right, the problems you're going to do Thursday and Friday are converting degrees into radians. And our first one is to convert 30 degrees. All we do is this. We take it times pi over 180. And when we take it times pi over 180, we're multiplying by a value of 1. We're going to reduce the top and bottom fractions like you know. 30 goes into 180 6 times, and we're taking 1 times pi over 6. Your answer is pi over 6. The exact same process on 70 degrees. We take it times pi over 180. That 70 is over 1. Say the the zeros reduce really easy. And now we've got 7 pi over 18. 7 does not go into 18, so our answer is 7 pi over 18. And by the way, on radians, we usually don't put a measure sign. We don't write rad or something. We usually don't. So there's your answer. We don't press 7 times the pi button. We leave it right there. Those two answers you see is how we leave the answers. Still going degrees into radians. 180. We take it times pi over 180. Again, let me just do this to make sure everyone gets the idea there. Say the 180s cross out, and we just get pi. Say, if you are walking forward in band, and you're told to turn around, go the exact same direction, do a 180, you could say, hey, we should do a pi. Nice. The 300 degrees, take it times pi over 180. The 10s cross out, so I've got 30 pi over 18. Say 2 goes into both of those. Say 6 goes into both of those. 6 goes into 35 times. 6 goes into 18 3 times. On top, we're left with 5 pi over 3. That's a really bad pi. 5 pi over 3. And then you'll be asked to change radians into degrees. And we do the same process, except we take it times 180 over pi. Instead of memorizing when to use pi over 180 and 180 over pi, Just sort of, if you've got a pi on top, think, ooh, I probably should have a pi on bottom. They cancel out. 6 goes into 180 30 times. Pi over 6 is the same as 30 degrees. Again, you can press pause or stop anytime you want. And finally, continuing converting degrees into radians. You can see outside, you can see the reflection. That's sort of cool. Take it times 180 over pi. The pi's will cross out. 3 goes into 180 60 times. And on top, what is not crossed out is 2 times 60. And converting 5 pi over 4. Pi's cross out. 4 goes into 180 45 times. What is not crossed out is 5 times 45. It is 225 degrees. So let me recap. Degrees and radians are just 2 different ways to say how big an angle is. Think of Fahrenheit and Celsius. That was good, Mr. Oven. I should think of Fahrenheit and Celsius. Yeah, they're the same thing. They mean the same angle. To convert, you take a times pi over 180 or 180 over pi. Your objectives for Thursday and Friday will be a worksheet converting. Great. Have a nice day.